Welcome everybody to episode 18 of Let's Play Civilization 3 Complete. As you might recall, in our last war, we just wrapped up, well, in our last turn, we just wrapped up a devastating war against the Americans. We have pretty much taken, I would say around half of their country, maybe a little less. And we've also managed to force them into a rather humiliating peace deal, giving us lots of techs, a city, Seattle down here, and a lot of gold as well. So, now that the war is over, well, first of all, it's time to put these troops in new positions. And then soon it will be time to get ready for the next phase, which is, of course, war with the Persians. That's the plan at any rate. Now, one other thing going on is that, well, the AI in Civ 3, even these days, makes leaves a lot of spaces like this in their country. So we're going to fill in those spaces, even though there might not be that many terrain spaces. We'll still get more use out of them than we would have otherwise. So that's what we're going to do. Alright. Well, this royally sucks. We have to backtrack 6 turns to get back to where we had been in our exploration of Korea, since they decided to be jerks to us and make our guys leave their territorial waters. But the exploration of the coast must continue. I'd be very disappointed if it had to stop at this point. Alright. So yes, in this post-war era, we have a number of concerns. Not only do we want to build up a force of knights to go after the Persians, we also want to build some peacetime improvements to improve our, the state of our country. Good thing that having tons and tons of forces in a city and in one place doesn't cause attrition like it does in EU3, which, by the way, is, at least in my opinion, a far more complicated game than this. Okay, we're ahead of Korea in technology, so that's a good thing. We're doing pretty well, I think. Alright, good. So, I'm going to build some settlers in 2 large captured American cities. Okay, we're going to go back and forth between military units and non-military units here. I think it's a pretty wise choice, because we want to have stuff going. What am I trying to say? We want to have everything in balance. Alright, pikemen, are you needed to stay there? Might as well. Okay. I like to have 2 of the most modern defensive units in every city. Okay. Enough troops in Washington. I want the 4 of you to head on down to Seattle. And that way, hopefully we'll have less of a chance of it culture flipping. Oh, that's right. I wanted to build it in Seattle, or in Washington. Can't hurry you. Can I hurry you? Yes, I can hurry you. Okay. And speaking of hurrying things, time to increase scientific funding a little bit. We gotta stay on top of things. Do we know everybody? Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yes, we now know everybody in the world. Something tells me that Germany is actually really close to us, just across the ocean here. But we won't discover them until we get all the way around. Alright, we're ahead of them in technology. It's a good thing. Let's click on some random countries. Okay, the Greeks are still ahead of us. How about America? Oh, who cares about them? Japan, how are you? Interesting. Yes, it's very important to do little trades like this, because you want to get ahead in tech as much as you can. Already talked to you. Russia, how are you? You're ahead of me, Russia. Okay, one thing, we're in the age of saltpeter now. But the question is, do we have any? I have the sneaking suspicion that we do not. And there is some in Persia. Where exactly in Persia is it? Right here. So we, actually, as soon as our culture expands, we'll take this spot. We gotta get things going with them after all. Actually, they have two. One's here, and the other is somewhere else, because it wouldn't show they would have one available to trade unless they had two. We can always check by clicking on these cities, because it might be under one of them. But something tells me it's in this shrouded area. If I scan around my empire, I can tell that there are none. Yes, it's very important that we begin this war soon. It might be prudent not to even wait until we have 30 knights and start it when we have just 20 or so. Well, let's build some more libraries because we need to increase our scientific funding. Build a Colosseum there. How many are we up to now? Only 7. Come on, we can do this better. This little American spearman all lost by himself. Alright. Okay, then we'll start with 20. And we'll have 2 attacking columns. Tearing through the land. Alright. Yes, Paris, you can build a library after that. Yeah, I don't want to focus solely on wartime preparations. I want to have some semblance of balance. Yes, you better build a pikeman because you only have 1 spearman guarding you, Leon. You definitely want those two defensive units just in case, you know, people decide to get a little sneaky with their forces. Although at this stage in the game, a sneak attack way over there is kind of unlikely. Alright. Seems we have built plenty of marketplaces. Besides, we're going to need that saltpeter for the age of, well, for the age of cavalry, which is coming up sooner than many of us might expect. Right? Make your slow plodding way through Greek territory here. A lot of trebuchet about. Okay, sweet. Man, lots and lots of workers. Of course, it's going to be nothing compared to what's going to be later in the game when we have even vaster swaths of territory under our control. Hopefully I won't have to resort to this, but I might just have to stop seeing our automated moves every turn if it gets too massive. Or at least cause a Camp Studio to pause, which I can also do. Alright, Trebuchet, you hang out here. Alright, and now we have a settler. Alright, it's probably dangerous to have only 1 unit in Miami, so we're going to send another one. Alright. It would be very funny if we had also a Texas City in here so that we can emulate the rivalry in the, the NBA Finals right now. But alas, no. Alright. Tour, you can build a library. And you can build a cathedral, Dijon. You have a salad dressing named after you. Honey Dijon. Okay. Loading up on knights slowly. Yes, we're building a lot of libraries in our empire as well. Hopefully that will be a good thing and not just a burden on our economy, on our treasury and such. It's interesting how thin the continent gets around the Greek areas. No. Alright. So we are going to... Oh, look at all those knights. But we're going to mass them for a major assault. Now the question is, if I'm only going to do 2 columns at once, I have to pick 2 of the 3 cities that are nearest to Dijon. I'm probably going to go with an attack on Sardis and one on... What's the name of that one? Take a look at it in a minute. Ergili. I'll save Samara for a later date. We'll push forward here, making our way east, and hopefully sending some guy out to get this source of forces. Because I don't expect this campaign to be as easy as the American campaign. I fully expect it to be quite a bit more difficult. Okay. I would have you build a marketplace, but it's time for you to contribute to our glorious army by building knights. Okay. Yes, we're really working things up here. Might as well upgrade you while we have the opportunity and the money. Actually, can we upgrade all our old spearmen? No, not quite, but that's alright. Alright. I want you to build a harbor. It's probably a prudent idea. Yes, also, until we get into the age of railroads, it's going to be quite a task to transport people anywhere more than a short distance just because of the time involved. Which is why we pretty much have to keep up a continuous supply of new troops to the front in order to keep the pressure on. Also, we have to keep a reserve force in the western part of our empire because if we're deep into the war with the Persians and somebody assaults us on the west, it's going to take a good length of the time before our main forces can get back there. So, you know, unless we have a number of new knights that are showing up, we're going to have a reserve force. Yes, build a new settler. We're going to put him here, between Philadelphia and Seattle. Alright, knight, 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 knight. Alright, yes, we're getting somewhere now with our war preparations. Okay, we don't need another trebuchet. We'll build another knight. Okay, yes, you build a pikeman. You don't really need a galley. Build a knight there. Since you're the westernmost city, we'll have a knight stationed in you just in case some trouble starts. Very infrequently will the AI fill more than one boat with troops at once for a assault, you know. I'm not sure why they wouldn't do that. It seems like a smart idea, but in this age that means they'll only ever start a naval assault with 2 forces at once. Alright. And this city we shall call New Marseille. New Marshmallow. Whatever it is. Okay. Build a barracks there. And that's that. Alright. Well, I think that's enough for this episode, so I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.